Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, the Universe Listens.
We cherish that. We love that particular piece of it because it
teach people like, hey, it's okay, change.
New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
Greetings and welcome to today's episode of Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is going beyond manifesting. And I have Stephen joining me. Hey, Rodney.
Hey.
And Teron.
Hey.
All right, so we're just talking about manifesting.
Yeah, so lately I've been seeing the word manifest is like a trendy thing.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with a friend, and we was talking about something, and she was like, yeah, just manifest it, write it down.
Right.
And that clicked to me that I don't think people really know the real meaning of manifesting something or what really goes into manifesting something. So that's how we got to this topic.
Okay, so what does manifesting mean to you?
So to me, it means visualizing what you want, but I think that, I say this, I ain't gonna say people don't know what it means, but I think they're missing a step. The step they're missing is they're writing down the things they want or whatever the case may be, but they're not feeling those feelings, feeling to have it now, in a sense. So they can say, you know, I'm gonna write down this the car I want, but they're not feeling themselves driving that car, or how they would feel when they get the car, when they drive it off to the lot, the music they're gonna play in the car. You know, just those feelings.
I got you.
I think people leaving those steps out with manifesting.
Okay. Well, I can agree with you on that. Also, like believing, just like actually believing that it's going to happen, and then also with writing it down, having those feelings and believing it. Then all you got to do is just basically let it go. And then just, you know, go about your everyday routine. Because I think sometimes we can sit back and just think about it. And then the more we thinking about it, it's going to come. We just got to let it go and then just let the universe do its thing.
Yeah, and I think part of that too is when you're manifesting, I think, well, like you said, one is skipping steps. So I think what your friend was saying was a great tool on like how to get to one part of manifestation. And I think another part of it is to actually, like you said, actually feel it. And lastly, I think you can't, once you start doing it, you can't force I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is you can't force what you want it to be to like happen. So you can't think like, I'm manifesting this, so now you know what I need to do? I need to work extra hard. I need to hustle and bustle.
Right.
Like, that's going backwards to me. I think the true manifestation comes when you're able to be yourself and be what you want. I think that's when it becomes like real. Like when you feel yourself being that and not fighting that. I think a lot of people fight like what it feels like to go to that next step. And I think that's usually where they get kind of stuck.
Okay. Oh, that helped me with this one. Just reminded me to basically just be. Just being. You want to manifest something, the job, you know, the house, just overall abundance. Then you can believe, you can write it down, but then also be it. Even though you may not have it in the 3D, you know, in the physical. Just be it every day, and then eventually it'll come to you.
I was listening to this book, and
Yeah.
the guy said, like, he was basically saying, you don't have to have a carved out time to where you're gonna stop and think about this or that.
Right.
You got to feel that at all times. Practice feeling that as much as you can,
Right.
and keep that on the front of your brain, and that's how you attract things and manifest things.
So, being the elder of the group, I can see over the course of my life how things have changed in terms of how people perceive the world. And for most of our lives, we always felt like we had to push and struggle and force and effort. Anything you want, you got to work for. You got to work hard for it. That's still part of our general thinking. But like what Rodney was saying, it's becoming more common language when people are starting to talk about manifesting and visualizing and writing it down and seeing it in your mind and holding it in the forefront of your mind and taking time to feel it and be it and those types of things. And so it's a clear shift. And even though all of us haven't made the shift and all of us haven't made the shift fully, some of us, we stick our toe in it, then we, stick it back out. We stick our toe. So on the one hand, we're saying, we just can visualize it and see it and be it and feel it. And then on our next breath, we're saying, you got to be in the grind. You got to work hard for what you want. So it's like we have these two different vibrations going on. So it's kind of like you're saying it should be easy and effortless and come to you. And you're saying I got to work hard for everything I want. So you're sending out a mixed message to the universe, like, which way is it? You're the creator, so what are you creating? You don't even know what you're creating. So it's going to be still a challenge to pull in whatever that thing is. But there is something that's beyond manifesting, or how we typically think of manifesting, because what we typically think is there's something that we don't have that we want and we want to bring it to us. And there's nothing wrong with that, but the thing with that is you always want more. Like, you're operating from a state of lack, and then you're constantly operating from a state of lack, because it's like, I want something I don't have. Let me write it down and, visualize it and whatever. And then, I'm pulling it to me through the universe. But it's almost like as soon as you get it, you're like, okay, I got that now. Okay, what I want next? And so we're always still, even if you become an expert manifester, you're still operating from a place of lack, which, that's still a vibration. Lack is a vibration. And so I guess the step beyond is what all of you have kind of alluded to, which is you are already it. We are already everything. We are it. We already have it. If we can think it, then we have then created it. It's been created. And so like CD. And look, now I can't think of your name.
Steve?
Like Steven said, we want to see it in that 3D reality just by, we have to be it. And you also said, like, closing the gap. Like, when we're saying, I got to get it, basically we're saying, it's this space where it's not. But the change and the perspective change is that we already are it. We already have it now. And so everything, like, if we have this divine, infinite power that runs through us, we are creating our realities with our own thoughts. And so every time we think, I don't have it yet, that's what we're creating. So we want to start being it now.
So it's kind of, you got to change the verbiage from I will have or I will be to I am. Yeah.
I think you told us an affirmation before that I really love, and I give it to everybody I like who will listen to me. What is it? It's galore, galore. I have everything I need and more. Yeah, that one. Let me tell you, I've been running in the ground. I'll be honest, and I'm passing it on like, yeah, you know, I heard this one great affirmation one time, but I think that's really what it is. Though I think you really have to understand that you are everything you need and more.
Right.
So if you find that you need more, you are also that.
Right.
And
Go ahead.
I just want to say I didn't come up with that affirmation. I got that from my guru. Galore, galore, I have everything I need and more. And it's like, again, the realization that you are already it. And the more you say it, the more you'll believe it.
Right.
And the more you will be it.
Right. Like even when you doing maybe business or something, you like, you know, I kind of need things to pick up or whatever the case may be, and it's like, what can I do or what can I acquire to make things better? When you really already have the tools though, you already can change things. You already could make it different now, you know. So I think our first instinct is to go, well, I can work harder at this. I can do this. I can crunch the numbers some more. I can, you know, look at the expenses some more or something. But you really already have the tools to have whatever you want.
Yeah.
And there's no limit on that.
Yeah. And I think that's what Teron was saying too. Like, we always feel like we gotta force something.
Right.
You know, so we think things aren't happening fast enough, or if I don't do X, Y, and Z, then how am I ever gonna get this? When really the universe knows what your desires are. Right? And so if we don't fight against it, which is what we do when we're saying I don't have it, we're actually fighting against it. When we say I gotta work hard to get it, we're fighting against it.
Every time.
And we're not believing that, you know, the universe can deliver our greatest desires and that it wants to.
That's what it's waiting
that it
on.
wants to. And so just being in that space of galore, galore, I have everything I need and more. And recognizing that your consciousness expands from here to eternity. Like, you are everywhere at all times. And if you can start feeling into that, like every so often I feel into that, you know, the bigness of who I am. And I feel into, I wonder what such and such doing in California right now. And like envisioning myself looking down and seeing that. Envisioning myself being, you know, in Cambodia and what they doing, and envisioning myself feeling into those people and pushing love through. So like a lot of times, you know, you can hear, I typically don't hear this stuff a lot, but sometimes you can hear like trauma stories of things that's happening around the world. So I always hear people say, the world is getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I hear that.
Or whatever. But honestly, from my perspective, it's getting better and better. Like, all I'm seeing is all the wonderful things that's happening. But every so often, you know, I'll see the stuff that people are talking about. And when I do, instead of going, oh, that's so terrible, you know, I'll just push my love through them. Like, I'll just go and just be love in them. And in my mind, for that moment that I'm there, they're feeling joy.
It's like when you said, how you were saying about we kind of work it against ourselves. It's like we look at the things in life that we want, and the life we want as, it's like a door with a lock on it, and we just gotta like try to break the lock or kick the door in.
Right.
And really, the door is already open. We could just walk in, you know. So it's, yeah, I just look at it like that a lot of times.
Sometimes I would sit back and I always just remind myself, when you talked about affirmations, mine is just I am. And I always sort of remind myself with that I am. So therefore it's like, I'm not coming from a space of lack.
You don't have it.
Yeah, I don't have it. I already have it. And then I can just continue to show myself gratitude. Like, okay, you got everything already. You know, I mean, not just because you don't see it physically, you got it already, and knowing that.
And I think a lot of people get hung up because, you know, we can say these things, right? Like, I am it. I am abundant, for example. And then a lot of times when people say that in their head, they're thinking, no, I ain't.
Right.
So it's like, how do you literally feel abundant when you don't feel abundant? And so one of the things that you can do is start thinking about places where you are abundant and feel into that, so that you're not giving the pushback. So even if you have to just go outside and just like, oh my gosh, look at all these blades of grass. Like, abundance is everywhere around me. Look at how many leaves are on the trees. It's just abundant.
Right.
And just feel into the abundance that's around you. Because and you can look at anything like the fabric, you know, like, oh my gosh, look at how many threads are in this fabric. It's just an abundance of everywhere I look, it's just an abundance. You know, if I look at the ceiling tile, look at all those holes. Oh, you know,
Right.
and but really just start feeling into it where it already shows up in your life. You know, if you were looking for more joy or more love or whatever the case may be, and you just like, nobody loves me, it's not enough love, or whatever the case may be. Well, when have you felt love? And feel gratitude about that, and appreciate that, and expand on that, and feel that feeling in your body right now.
That was a big thing for me too. When you get to a space where you're like, okay, when am I at my happiest, and how do I feel in that moment? And then you just think about that, visualize that, and you practice. You feel that. You take
Right.
yourself there and you feel that, and then you can start adding different things, you know. So I think that's a thing to do, is like, when are you happiest, and take that feeling,
Right.
you know.
Magnify it.
Right.
Yeah. And I was just sitting there thinking, I think a lot of times people like might say, oh, you know, I've been visualizing, I've been doing this and I've been doing that. But you know, ain't nothing changed. I think that's usually because maybe they don't feel like they deserve that yet. Like, I think you have to get in a space of appreciation, gratitude, but as well as knowing that you are worthy of it. Like, you have to find that worth. Otherwise, I think it's hard to create outside of you, because you still need to create a little more inside first.
I think one of the best tools for manifesting and things you want that you had gave us was the focus wheel. And basically, I wish we had one to show them, but you put a word in the middle. I mean, put what you want in the middle, and then on the outside, just put how you would feel if you had this, like, you know. And I love the exercise, and I still got them, because it gets you in the space to where you actually writing down, you know, how you would feel, and then you practicing feeling how you would feel, you know, when you actually get what you want.
Exactly.
And it's coming from a space of you already have it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why I like the gratitude letter so much. The idea of writing, like, to your future, like writing as your future self, I think is so refreshing, and it helps you like see what you want when you're struggling to see it. Like, because you're putting yourself in this place like, all right, well, even if I take this mindset that I don't have it right now, then I'm writing what it feels like to have it, and then suddenly I'm creating it right there.
Right, you actually feel it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, for me, my thing was like just having a gratitude journal, and then just every day writing down what I was grateful for throughout the whole day, you know, because that just keeps me in the space of not coming from lack when I'm saying like I am, you know. So that's something else I would tell you all just to practice, try.
And I would tell people when they're writing down stuff, like we've been saying, write it down as if you already have it now.
Yeah.
You know, because I think that's a lot of things. People are writing down, you know, I want this car, I want this house, I want these things, but you got to write it as if you have it now. And how do you feel having it? And take yourself in that space.
Yeah. Because you don't get more of what you want. You get more of who you're being. So you have to be it. And there's no better way that I can express being it is just by finding places in your life where you already are it. No matter how minuscule it is. If you want to be a famous artist, but you haven't even really started drawing. You're just doodling on your notepad or whatever. Just look at how beautiful those things are, and just imagine if people are saying, "Oh, that's some beautiful drawings right there," or whatever. But just whatever it is, you are already it. So just find where it is in your life and start pouring your love, attention, gratitude on that, because you are voting with your attention. So whatever you're giving your attention to, that's what you're going to get more of.
If you want to be a musician and you only sing in the shower, you focus on that.
How good it sounds.
Because everybody feel good singing in the shower. You feel like I'm Usher or something.
Yes, I do want to reiterate that I do see us moving as a human species from the need to struggle and force an effort to where people are starting to say, okay, there are other ways of doing that.
Right.
And then even still another level where we don't even have to have a desire. Basically, we're already easily and effortlessly creating things that at this moment we can't even think of creating. So I do see that transition happening. And I don't know, have you guys ever heard of the 100 monkey theory?
No.
So there's this theory, it's a theory that, so I'll tell you the story. So the story is monkeys, I'm going to kind of make it up a little bit because I don't remember all details, but let's just say monkeys never eat, what's something monkeys probably wouldn't eat? Let's just say they never eat potatoes.
Okay.
So a particular monkey on a island got a potato and started washing it off and then started eating it. So another monkey saw him doing that, and so that monkey was like, well, let me do that too. So he washes potato off and he would eat it. And so eventually different monkeys on this island start eating the potatoes after they wash it. And so when it hits a critical mass, which they call the 100th monkey, when it hits a certain mass where 100 monkeys on this island are doing this, all of a sudden every monkey on this island would start doing it, as well as every monkey everywhere. And so basically the same theory holds with people. Like a certain number of people can start doing a certain thing, and then it'll hit a critical mass, and then it's like magic, every single person will do that. And I remember some studies where they were giving people these difficult mazes to do. And so the first group of people who did the maze, let's just say, I'm making up numbers, but let's just say if the first group of people, let's say it took them 30 minutes to figure this maze out on average. The second group of people who wasn't even in contact with the first group of people, when they try to figure the maze out, it would take them like 27 minutes. The third group, it would take them like 22 minutes. And so each group, the time reduces.
Okay.
Because we all have this, are connected, our consciousness is connected. And so if you learn something, it's going to be easier for me to learn the exact same thing, even without having any contact with you. And so, like, this change that I'm seeing, that I'm getting to witness with my eyes, I feel like we, all of you who are tuned in to this show, as well as us sitting here, we are like on the cutting edge of things, and that we may look around us and not see a lot of examples of what it is that we're saying and doing. We may be the only ones. We may be the only ones. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm dying over here. Try to hold it in.
Okay, so we're gonna close real quick so we give you a break. But so we're on the cutting edge, and so as we develop these practices and we're manifesting, as we're calling it, manifesting, being the thing, and then creating the lives of our desires, we're making it easier for each person who's coming behind us.
I like that.
All right, any closing comments?
Just to create, even when it's hard for you to create, and also share it with others. I think that's important. You need to share what you want with others because I think it's power in numbers. I think it's the best way to word it.
I'll just say when you manifesting and writing things down, feel it. Feel it now. Come as, act as if you have it now. Be as if you have it now.
Yeah, I would say first thing is as soon as you feel it and you think it, write it down right then and there.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you guys for watching and looking forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, this is Arvette.
This is Steve.
It's Rodney.
It's Ron.
Bye.